on August 14th, 2017. It is a Monday today. I had a good day at work, and here I am now holding up to my end of the bargain where I said I would give you a day-by-day update, and here it is. I didn't provide one yesterday, but I think I've got a good excuse, and I'll make up for it by including that today. So I went ahead and bought a whiteboard to show what I've been doing. So here we have it for Sunday, August 13th. I said breakfast, I had one serving of rice with chicken curry. That was a leftover and fairly healthy option. For a snack, I had one large iced tea, and that was black, unsweetened, no sugar. For lunch, I had 2 omega-3 bars, and they end up having about 5 grams of sugar apiece, 14 grams of protein. They are pretty good. I get them at CVS. For dinner, I had one salad with balsamic vinegar, and I had a half chicken Caesar wrap. This was actually at Harper's Ferry. So I traveled over there and did a hike, did some whitewater tubing, and I'll get to that in the exercise portion. And for dinner, I had 10 chicken wings because it was wing night at my favorite place. Now, the hike portion at Harper's Ferry was casual. I had a pack on, just a little extra weight. It's pretty chill. I mean, compared to Great Falls, if you've seen the video, it's not too much. Probably comparable vertical if you put all things together. I mean, Great Falls is up and down. This one's just up and down, and you got to go up and back down. It's got a great cliff overview. I think Thomas Jefferson called it one of the best scenes in nature. And just a little history lesson, Harper's Ferry is the site of the single largest Union loss from the Civil War. It traded hands 8 times. It was a bloody, bloody place. Going up on this mountain on the hike, you actually go by a naval artillery or a naval battery where they're looking over the Potomac River at the battlefield at Bolivar Heights, and they were just lobbing shells in there all day long. So it was a major strategic position to hold that hill. And that's also the hill that Thomas Jefferson, he made an envoy there and said it was a beautiful place. But of course, that was about, 70 years prior. So the hike was good. It ended up being about 6 miles, ended up being about 1,000 feet of vertical. Pace was not too fast. It was relaxed, and that whole portion ended up taking, I want to say, about hour and a half. I mean, who's counting? It was a nice view, and I'll probably post up the panorama from up there at the cliff top. And the second component yesterday was I did whitewater tubing down the Potomac River. We're joined with the Shenandoah. It's pretty fun. It was Class 1 and Class 3 rapids, and it's a good way to get flipped over in there. Very lax exercise, though. It's just more for my own well-being personally. And ended up costing about $30 for the tube. And then, so today was a little interesting. I had to do a couple additional things at work. So I biked into work at dawn. It was blackout. Had a beautiful sunrise. Wish I GoPro'd it. And one of these days I'm going to be sure to do that, just because the scene over the monuments was gorgeous. But for breakfast today, I had one protein shake. For my snack, I had 2 green teas. I keep those at work. So I'm steering away from coffee, but hold your horses. I actually broke that rule once today. I use a lot of meetings, big stuff. For lunch, I had Panda Express. That consisted of 2 entrees and 1 side, the side being veggies. Then it was chicken string bean and also chicken teriyaki, and pretty healthy lunch considering it's fast food and reasonably priced. So I would recommend that. For a snack afterwards, I had 1 unsweetened latte. There I go, violating the rule of no coffee. And also had a protein bar. For dinner, that is 1 protein shake, 1 salad, but better yet, combine them both into a spinach and protein shake. So that's spinach and pea protein. Just mix it up, roll it together. I call it mechanized cooking, and you got a nice simple meal for dinner and nutritious. You have to couple that with a multivitamin, and just getting into some of the other things I did. Actually, I didn't even write them down here because my hair's still wet. But I BMX'd for 14 miles today. Took about 1.5 hours. Reason being, it's in the city. I was going next to a car, and just when I am going, I go about 18, 20 miles an hour on the BMX, so it's a decent speed. I did about a half hour's worth of calisthenics, which is pretty laid back. I mean, it was just pull-ups from dead hang, doing squats, doing these deltoid lifts I do, where I do a modified isometric, flutter kicks, and you name it. And then from there, I swam for half an hour continuously, and that was pretty good. Went straight from the calisthenics into the swim, and then after that, I just finished with a little cool down run for about half a mile, which is nothing, but stretch the legs. And then I ended up having one of those omega-3 bars that I talked about before from the CVS. So that's pretty good. So that's the first 2 days in a nutshell. Again, I'm holding to my own standards for the most part, and I weighed myself today. I weighed in at 198 pounds. I've been weighing in at 205. So I got to make sure I don't lose weight too quickly, because that's not good. But I'm going to be losing weight pretty quick. And referring back to my previous video, talking about that guy David Goggins, on 2 occasions, he lost, I want to say, 100 pounds in 2 months. And the guy's just an absolute monster. So if you haven't seen the video yet, see the video. But that's all very good. And then another thing, I'm going to have to add rules, because I realized that the rules that I laid out previously weren't hardcore enough. So, we already said no sweetness of any kind, no carbonated beverages, minimal animal proteins. I mean, I did violate that a little bit, but I'm buffering it with the pea proteins and some other vegetable sources. And then no carbonated beverages. Well, no, I said that no cruciferous vegetables. That's broccoli, kale, and Brussels sprouts. So I'm going with spinach today. To add on to that, to make this more challenging, and indeed it will be, not sure I really want to say this, but you see these stars right here next to the 1/2 chicken wrap and the Panda Express? The reason I started those entries is because I already started following the rule. And this is an essential one, which is sometimes your eyes are bigger than your stomach, right? How do you know that when you get a serving of food, it is exactly the right quantity that your body needs? Now, yes, your body can adapt and overcome, but really you need to start optimizing. You need to start drinking when you're thirsty, eating when you're hungry, and that's very important. So what I did with these ones, I ate half of the meal, and then I cut off, and then you must wait at least half an hour. If you're still hungry, you can continue eating. If not, just save it for later. So that's a hard rule. And the other one, no alcohol. And this is the hard one. This is a real hard one. Trying to get away from caffeine entirely. I consider addictions a vice to begin with. Doesn't matter what the addiction is. If you do it and you try to get some kind of output, it's an addiction, and ultimately those things rule you. So if you possess the power to remove yourself from those addictions, then now you can start stepping forward to bigger and better things. Again, does that directly get me to my goal? No, it does not. And the reason I'm doing it is because I've done everything I'm doing here, I've done before. And I've had tremendous turnaround. But I should warn you here, the one thing I've noticed is I followed this for about 6 months before with about 5 hours of athletics a day. You will get injured eventually if you keep this up and you do not start supplementing yourself properly. This is kind of the get-rich-quick scheme, but there's got to be a stopping point. What I advocate is cheat days once a week. So let's say you do this hardcore, and then on Sunday, that's a day where you get to have sugar and do all these other things you can't do. That's good in moderation, but it also bodes to the work hard, play hard mentality. I don't know if it's right or wrong. I mean, there's new science articles out all the time. I'm just saying what worked for me, but also what the eventual outcome was. However, I did have tremendous performance gains in that period of time. So that's where I advocate for it. I'm just hoping that I'm smarter this time. Couple more thoughts on this thing. So tomorrow's a new day. It always is. I'm holding up to my end of the bargain. This is the administrative part. I'm doing this last thing before I go to bed. And things for the future, I'm going to start talking about maybe some of the things that I've done in the past where I was my own guinea pig and they ended up biting me in the butt. So it's just good collective knowledge to share, and of course I'm open to suggestions and everything else. So tomorrow's a new day. I hope you enjoyed this entry in the video. This is officially the first update, and I just like to hear back from you, and let me know what I'm doing, and if this is too hardcore or crazy. But I think I got a good track forward. I'm already getting good results out of it, and we'll see how I feel in a week, a month, 6 months, a year. So all right, thank you, have a good night.